They said Judge Woodruff would be here. He's running late, but he's quick. Yes, he is quick. He should be quick. 12 seasons quarterback, Pittsburgh Steelers. In the Super Bowl as a rookie. Team MVP, 3-time team captain. He has a fantastic judicial and legal record, but I couldn't even get to that. I was too excited about the football part. Number 49.
Good evening. I tell you, it's great to be here in Monroe County. I had, just look in the back over here, this guy, Micah Sims, drove me here. I had my eyes closed the whole time. But it's great to be here. Thank you very much. Let me just say thank you for what you've done here to get us our great slate of 8 that we have. We have a slate of 8 that is second to none. And I've been going around talking about each of those in the slate 8, but I'm going to ask you to do a little work yourselves. You put our slate 8 up, and you put theirs up, and you just compare them up and down the line. We are second to none, I can tell you that. We have some great judicial candidates. I've been campaigning with them for the past year, and there's some great people as well. And not only they're qualified, and integrity, high character, and different things, but they care. And they care about you, and they care about our rights here in Pennsylvania. And let me tell you a little bit what I've been telling others across this vast state, this Commonwealth of ours. I've been going back and forth over and over. I got a used car maybe about 12, 13 months ago. It's got about 60,000 miles on it that I put on it since then. A lot of miles, traveling a lot. And as I go across the Commonwealth, a lot of people recognize me and know me, as indicated earlier, due to my 12 years with the Steelers and team MVP and Super Bowl 14. But one of the lesser known facts is I also went to law school. I went to law school at night while I was playing, from 84 to 88. Thank you. When I graduated from law school in 1988, I was not only playing in the National Football League, team captain for the Steelers, but also a practicing attorney all at the same time. That's a lot of hard work. But like many of you, I'm not shy of hard work at all. When I ran for judge in 2005, I was the #1 vote getter in Allegheny County. I won on both the Democratic side and the Republican side. And I got to choose. I got to choose which court I wanted to preside in, and I chose family court. Now, family court typically is a court that judges run away from because it's a lot of hard work, a lot of long hours, a lot of extremely difficult decisions to be made as well. But that's where I felt my calling was, to be there in family court. And that's where I've been for the past 12 years. Once I was elected, our Supreme Court also allowed me to serve on a number of statewide committees as well. I served on the Pennsylvania In-Branch Juvenile Justice Commission, dealing with the Lucerne County, the so-called cash for kids. I was one of 2 Court of Common Pleas judges appointed to serve on that commission. And our job was to go find out what happened, how did it happen, and how can we prevent it from ever happening again. And we did just that. We were on that commission for just over a year. We came back with 63 recommendations for our Supreme Court. Many of those recommendations have already been implemented. But one of those recommendations I want to talk to you about tonight deals with judges, education for judges. Up until this year, once you were elected judge, you didn't have to attend another educational program or seminar of any kind at any time. It's almost as if once we were elected, we became geniuses in everything. I thought that was inappropriate. In Allegheny County, we have 43 judges at that time, and I went to every single judge to talk to them and tell them that it was time for us to start walking the walk as opposed to just talking the talk. Yeah. And every single judge agreed to judicial education to the tune of 13 hours per year. This year, for the very first time, our Supreme Court mandates that every judge have judicial education to the tune of 12 hours per year. Let me tell you this, to get 2 judges to agree on anything at the same time, that's quite a feat. But to get the 43 judges all to agree on the same thing at the same time, that's leadership. I believe I possess that type of leadership to be a Supreme Court justice as well. Our Supreme Court has also appointed me to serve on a number of other statewide committees. I was vice chair of the Juvenile Court Procedure Rules Committee. We actually make the rules for judges to follow. I also serve on the JCJC, Juvenile Court Judges Commission. We review all the legislative ideas coming down from Harrisburg and inform our Supreme Court how is it going to affect our judiciary and how is it going to affect our constituents as well. I'm also on the board of the National Council of Juvenile and Family Court Judges, and we actually train judges, not just here in the Commonwealth, but globally as well. And when you talk about model courts and best practice, all those things come from from Juvenile Court, our National Council of Juvenile and Family Court Judges, which I'm on my second term there as well. But also believe to be a good judge, particularly to be a good justice, you have to understand those that you're supposed to be judging, your constituents. And so I'm very involved in our community in Allegheny County. I'm the chairperson of the Urban League of Greater Pittsburgh. I'm on the board of United Way of Southwestern Pennsylvania. I was the past chair of the American Cancer Society as well, and many other private as well as public, as well as charitable organizations as well. It's important to understand what's going on. I also go out and speak to a number of different schools. Each and every month, I go out and talk to schools, and talk to students, and talk to parents, and let them know what are some of the ramifications when your family and your kids come into a courtroom, such as mine. What are some of the consequences? And some of them are quite severe, because we need to make sure that we hold our kids accountable for their actions. But we're not going to throw away the key. We're going to make sure that they receive the treatment, that they receive the encouragement, they receive the support and love that they need to grow up to be good, upstanding young men and young women. And let me tell you this, the majority of them do just that. I want to tell you a quick story. My wife and I were at Heinz Field. We're at New Heinz Field. I've never had the chance to play at Heinz Field. But we were there for dinner, so I got to eat there. And so one of the waiters, the waitresses that were there, came up to our table. And we're sitting at a table of 10, and she came up and says, "You're Judge Woodruff." I said, "Yes, ma'am." She goes, "I'm one of your kids." And let me tell you this. There was a lot of conversation initially going on at the table. That conversation stopped when she said that. And I turned around and I looked at my wife. And my wife's mouth was wide open. And then I turned around and looked at this young lady and I said, "You know, I do remember you." She says, "Yes, I'm one of your kids, one of your court kids." I said, "That's right." The conversation sort of picked back up. But let me tell you, she was so excited to talk to me, to tell me that she's going to school every day, that she's getting ready to graduate, that she has a job, that she had her child returned to her care, and that she has a future someplace that she wants to go. I'll tell you, that keeps me going every single day. Young people in this Commonwealth, as I heard when I came in, the young Democrats and different things, but our young people, they're doing the right thing. Yeah, they screw up every now and then. But we were kids. We all screwed up somewhere along the line, one time or another. But let me tell you, they're on the right track. And if you have good judges in the right place at the right time, it makes a world of difference for them. Now, let me tell you what's going on today. When I look at the Commonwealth and I look at America in this country, you know, some things are under attack. I see a lot of women here. Women's rights under attack. Voting rights under attack. Civil rights, human rights under attack. The right to join with your brothers and sisters and unionize under attack.
That's right.
These are some very serious issues that we're facing here today. We need some serious people fighting as well. And so as we look across all these things that are coming down the pipeline, it's been our judiciary to stand up and say, "Hold up, wait a minute. We're not going to allow you to continue to trample on our people's rights." That's why this election in 2017 is so critically important, because we have 7 statewide openings available. We need to make sure that we have good people that understand what your rights are and make sure that they protect every single one of them, regardless of other people's opinions. There's a number of different things going on here in America here today. But our rights aren't based on what's the flavor of the month. They're based on the Constitution of the United States, and they're based on the Constitution here in the Commonwealth. And as judges, we'll make sure that those rights are protected, regardless of what kind of opinions anyone else has. So as we go through now, we're sort of like in the closing, what we have, 24 more days.
6 hours.
In 6 hours. But who's counting, right?
22 minutes.
In 22 minutes. We're like, right now, we're in scoring territory. We've gone inside the 20. And when we get inside the 20 on the football field, you get inside the scoring territory, what do we call that?
The red zone.
I hear you say that. It's not the red zone anymore.
It's the blue zone.
From now on, we're calling it the blue zone. And we can't afford an interception or a fumble. We're not going to settle for a field goal. We're going for a touchdown. And after we get that touchdown, we're not lining up for the extra point. We're not kicking no extra point. We're going for 2. Because we got a slate of 8. And we got a great slate as well. And let me tell you this, you know, I'm looking around. You talked with Justice Todd already? So I might talk I've been thinking about, I can't say.
No, go ahead, let
Well, let me tell you, we have a lot of Democrats that vote straight Democrat. Can't do that this election. So after you, and I don't want you to think and go too fast either, because I'm number 1 on the ballot. I don't want you skipping me. So take your time, you know, go through it nice and slow. When you see Woodruff, you hit that button, all right? And you're going to see the rest of the slate as well, the other 6. But then you have to keep going until you find Justice Deborah Todd. Right? And when you find Justice Deborah Todd, then you vote yes, because the straight Democratic vote will not get her. So you make sure we vote yes for her. Let me tell you, Justice Todd has been on the Supreme Court for 10 years. And she's been on the judiciary bench for 17 years. But she's been doing a great job as a Supreme Court Justice for our Commonwealth. We want to make sure that we continue to have her to help us out. And I tell you, it's going to be a great pleasure of mine to be on the Supreme Court when she's appointed, elected the first female Chief Justice in history of this Commonwealth. I want to mention one other historical thing that can happen this election as well. You know, as many of you know, our Commonwealth, our Supreme Court is the oldest, highest court in the country, over 300 years. It's changed over the names. Now it's called the Supreme Court, and it's almost 300 years old, older than any other in the country. During that time, we've had 1 person of color ever elected to our Supreme Court. 1, Justice Nix, out of Philadelphia. I think our Supreme Court needs to be more diverse, more inclusive, more reflective of constituents that serve. I'm the only candidate that can answer that call. Now, when you look at our slate, our slate is more diverse. We have more experience on the judiciary. We have a greater background as well. It's stellar. And so again, that's why it's important you go out and you vote. But I need you to vote not just for our slate because it's a great slate, but I want you to vote because you're the ones that can elect us to make sure that your rights are protected each and every single day. And that's what judges do. We don't really make it at all. We interpret it. And we interpret it based on the Constitution of the United States and the Commonwealth as well. And we're going to make sure that we protect your rights. That's what we do. So go out and vote, but not just you. Go home, get your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your neighbors, get all of them to vote too. Your kids, your grandkids, I don't care how old they are. Just take them all. They let them vote, let them vote. Right? But also I need you to stop and make a stop down the road for me. Because there's always someone down that road that you don't talk to. You haven't talked to them in a while. Because you've been pissed off at them. You might be mad at them because they cut you off. You're trying to get in your driveway and they see you coming and they speed up and cut you off. Or they might have cut you off on the highway, I don't know. They may have cut your road bushes down or did something. But I need you to talk to them too. I need you to talk to them and tell them how important it is they get out and vote. And as you talk to your neighbors, you talk to this person, they're going to listen to you. You have no idea how much influence you have on your friends and neighbors, because a lot of them don't know there's an election coming up, but there is. But you tell them, and you also tell them that you heard Judge Woodruff speak here tonight, that you heard Jeff Moulton speak here tonight, that you heard Ms. Seisler talk here tonight as well. And you heard about Justice Deborah Todd, you heard about the slate and how important it is. Because judges can change your life. Because you elect judges to have so much power. Once you elect a judge in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, they're there for 10 years. 10-year term. As a judge, I can sit through 3 presidents. Thank God. With 3 governors, 3 lieutenant governors as well. So that's the power that you give, and as a power, a judge can take your liberty away from you. A judge can take your property away from you. A judge can take your kids away from you. That's the power that you give judges. That's why this election is so critical. You need to make sure you have good judges in the right place at the right time. Good democratic judges. Judges that understand your values as well, that believe the same thing, that have an understanding that we get nowhere separately. Until we join forces, until we reach across that aisle, nothing ever happens in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania or in this country as well. That's why it's so important to have good judges that understand those values and going to work for you. That's what we do. And so to borrow a line from a movie, normally everybody says the line that they remember from Jerry Maguire. What is that line they remember mostly? Show me the money.
You complete
Right?
me.
Show me the money. Now, I don't mind you showing me the money. I can't ask for it, but I got my campaign manager, he can ask. But that's not the line. The line I want to talk to you about is help me, help you.
Yeah.
Help me, help you. Thank you all very much. I appreciate your time.